U.S. allies submarine in the South China Sea could bring nuke disaster. A senior Chinese expert on the maritime issue raised questions on the announcement the U.S. 7th Fleet made about a U.S. submarine collision in the South China Sea, as well as concerns over the increasing military presence of the U.S. and its allies in the region, as they could bring more danger and accidents to the region, and would even cause a nuclear disaster. Shicun, president of the National Institute for the South China Sea Studies or NISCSS, made comments in Beijing on Wednesday at a press briefing hosted by the NISCSS and China Southeast Asia Research Center on the South China Sea or CSARC. The briefing introduced the Symposium on Global Maritime Cooperation and Ocean Governance 2021 that was held in Sanya, South China's Hainan province on November 9 and 10. The unknown object, the USS Connecticut nuclear-powered submarine collided within the South China Sea in early October, turned out to be an uncharted seamount, the U.S. 7th Fleet announced on Monday. The U.S. said the submarine is grounded on an uncharted seamount while operating in international waters, but how can a submarine collide with a seamount which is 2,000 to 3,000 meters underwater, while a submarine normally dives no deeper than 300 meters? Wu asked at the press briefing. The U.S. delivered an ambiguous answer which cannot be justified, Wu said. What Wu is really concerned about is the future of submarine operations in the region. Let us imagine the protagonists of the incident on September 30, 2018, were two nuclear-powered submarines instead of Chinese destroyer Lanzhou and the USS destroyer Decatur, which had to maneuver to avoid a collision at a time of rising tensions between China and the US, Wu noted. That could be a catastrophe. As Australia could build nuclear-powered submarines using technology provided by the US under the AUKUS Pact launched by the UK, the US, and Australia in September, there would be more submarines in the South China Sea, Wu said, noting the code of conduct for submarines is urgently needed to avoid enormous nuclear disasters. On October 2, the USS Connecticut or SSN-22, a Seawolf-class nuclear-powered attack submarine, struck an object while submerged. The object, it turned out, was an uncharted seamount. According to the U.S. Navy, the accident occurred in the South China Sea, in international waters. 11 sailors were injured, while the submarine suffered structural damage to its hull and was forced to surface before seeking shelter in Apra Harbor, Guam. While the extent of the structural damage has yet to be fully assessed by the U.S. Navy, according to a spokesperson, the vessel's nuclear power plant was undamaged and remains fully operational. Beyond maritime safety issues, the Chinese were quick to criticize the presence of the American submarine in the South China Sea as unduly provocative. The United States military has frequently dispatched advanced weapons platforms such as aircraft carriers, strategic bombers, and nuclear submarines to flex its muscles and stir up trouble in the South China Sea under the pretext of freedom of navigation and overflight, a Chinese Defense Ministry spokesperson noted. The United States should stop its close-in reconnaissance in the seas and skies near China's islands and reefs in the South China Sea, and its military deployments against China, as well as so-called freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea. For its part, while the U.S. Navy has remained tight-lipped about the mission being performed by the USS Connecticut, a 353-foot boat commissioned in 1998 carrying a crew of 116. The timing of the incident coincided with major U.S.-led naval exercises involving ships from 6 nations, including 4 aircraft carrier task groups, just outside of the South China Sea, in the waters off the southeast of Okinawa, Japan. This task force had earlier conducted maneuvers near the disputed waters of the South China Sea as part of so-called freedom of navigation exercises designed to challenge China's territorial claims. Following the logic contained in the commander's intent, the USS Connecticut could have been charting a new, covert passage that put the vessel near Chinese-controlled islands in the South China Sea. It may have also been tracking Chinese submarines that may have been deployed to keep tabs on the US-led joint naval exercises. The fact that the USS Connecticut struck an uncharted seamount implies that the vessel was operating in waters not previously known to either its crew or the US Navy. Either activity, when carried out by a ship capable of employing up to 40 torpedoes or Tomahawk cruise missiles, would be viewed as extremely provocative by China, which has become the target of a major U.S. military pivot that places preparation for a U.S.-Sino conflict as its top priority.